Boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy, this is going to be a rough one. So I came across this video the other day, and it's of this guy man, my nose, I have the Eurobridge nose. It's kind of, my nose is kind of like his. So he's clearly a young European man that felt the need for whatever reason to start yelling that he is his parents. Actually, it's not him. Correction. It's not actually him. It's his parents that have money, and so therefore this makes him a much better person than anyone on the flight. It also gives him a get out of jail free card, or do whatever I want and get away with it badge, whichever one of those you prefer. But let's take a look at what happens here.
Fucking 2 million goddamn guys. You guys fucking suck. My parents are recording.
Okay, so immediately we can see that he's being filmed by everybody in there with their cell phone out. If you notice someone has taken their cell phone out and started filming you, it's a pretty good sign that there's something wrong. You're doing something wrong, and you should probably stop. Especially if it's more than one person. If you have a gang of people filming you on a cell phone, you should probably stop whatever you're doing. I'm really upset that I have this Eurobridge nose as well because, well, I'm not even gonna say that.
2 million goddamn gallons. And you know what? Fucking 2 million goddamn gallons. And you know what?
So the good thing is, at least he's got his mask. So he's got his mask on. He's got his mask on. Oh well, I guess it's around his chin. So at least he's not an anti-vaxxer. But wait a minute, is that a rule in airplanes? I don't know. Type in the comments. I don't know if it's a rule. I haven't even been on a plane. I'm going a little crazy because I haven't been on a plane in like 2 years now. So he's got his mask on under his chin. It's not protecting him. It's not protecting the word vomit coming out of his mouth. But he's screaming into the passenger next to him. I guess, but he said "you guys." So I mean I know there's 2 rows, but he might be referring to somebody else. But he's screaming directly at directly into the seats next to him. He also says that his parents are worth $2 million. Now, I mean, you can't hate on the guy because $2 million is a lot. Okay, not many people have $2 million. I don't have $2 million. But honestly, $2 million is not really that much. But that's again, that's sort of digressing. That's not even really the main point here. The main point is just the fact that you have money does not make you a better person. And so his line of thinking is, well, my parents have money, therefore I'm a better person, and I should be able to do whatever I want and get away with it. And nobody else, because they don't have money. If you don't have money, you can't do you don't have the same rights. So he's living in his own bizarre universe where money means you can do whatever it is that you want and have no regard for any other human being, which is just some sort of obvious perverse universe that he's accustomed to or thinks is. I'm getting my buttons are coming out. So clearly he believes that. Well, it's yeah.
Yeah. You know what? My grandpa is recording your fucking life.
I couldn't really understand what he said there. It sounded like he said that his grandma is worth more than someone of the other passengers' life, which again, I mean, that's not even something that you could really calculate, so it just doesn't make sense, and is sort of the rhetoric you would expect from someone who has done this shallow level analysis of if my parents have money, then therefore I am entitled to things that you are not. My main question in this video was he drunk? Is he drunk? Because that would at least make more sense. I mean, if you're inebriated and you can't think straight and you're disinhibited, then it would make more sense that you would be like, talking out of your butt. But if he's sober, that's actually worse, because that means he has done this level of thinking where, this low level analysis that, if you ever take a course in ethics or humanity in the humanities, or you can debunk this real quick. The argument just doesn't make sense. There's a lot of people who have a lot of money, but they're still, obviously, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're a better person, or are that their life is worth any more. And so that I guess it's a common misconception now, since we have this emphasis on the individual in industrialized society like the West. People tend to try to brag about their money, make them, it kind of inflates your ego. I'll put some science links in the description, because I kind of like science. But I know that making money is equivalent to like snorting cocaine or something like that. It activates, like if people win money gambling, it activates reward centers in the brain. So that's pretty interesting. So maybe his parents gave him some money and he's like high off of that right now, and he's just word vomiting in front of this entire aircraft to be recorded and then put on the internet.
Shut the fuck up!
Hey!
No!
Chill out!
Yo, he is savage, yo!
So he seemingly attacked. I mean, I guess they were going to let him go shouting. I mean, it's okay to shout. You're probably disturbing pretty much everybody else on the airplane. But he actually decided to physically like swing on somebody. I couldn't tell if it was the flight attendant or who actually it happened upon. But clearly you can see the response by, I don't know if that's the airline security. I know they have, airlines have like private security or air marshals on flights, and they responded quickly, took him down, which is appropriate, because he was clearly starting, really agitated and starting to get, physical. And this is totally appropriate. I mean, this is what you do with psychotic, if a patient is psychotic and, starting to go crazy and, they're high on drugs or whatever it is, and they go on the attack, then that's when you call the hospital security, and they come in and do a show of force. And if the person doesn't wind down and they still go psychotic and start, threatening people, then they get taken down. So that was what happened here in this video. Perfect, excellent. I mean, this is quality content. Excellent response by the air marshals. He ended up getting, plastic wrapped. People said duct tape, but it looks like plastic wrap, which, I mean, it's got to be very uncomfortable to be restrained like that. But I think that was the appropriate action here. And, hopefully this guy learns his lesson not to be a douchebag. Maybe his parents, hopefully his parents don't give him any of their money. I think that would be a bad idea. He clearly does not, if he thinks that money entitles him to do certain things, he definitely does not deserve it. So I hope his parents see this. I'm going to hopefully tweet this to his parents and find out who he is. Please don't give your son money if he's acting like this. He definitely doesn't deserve it. And he should be, maybe barred from going back on that aircraft. I don't know. I don't know what the appropriate punishment is. I honestly feel like being plastic wrapped to an airline seat is probably punishment enough, because he's now all over the internet, and well, hopefully he can't hurt anyone else. That's the primary concern. Please don't hurt me. Please don't hurt anybody else. Do what you want with your money. I hope his parents don't give him any money, but yeah, I mean,
Ladies and gentlemen. Shut up.
and very, I mean, the flight attendant, the air marshal is nice enough to remask him, because you still hear him shouting. He's still like trying to scream and say things after he's been straitjacketed to the chair, which is again, it's word vomit. So put the mask on. Maybe even, I mean, they can't really tape his mouth shut. That because then you might end up with a George Floyd situation. So definitely don't tape someone's mouth shut. That's kind of dangerous. But detain them, tape their body shut, because if they're physically violent, and restrain them. And what more do you need? He needs to go to counseling and therapy. He really needs to. His parents need to spend a good chunk of their $2 million on therapy. Oh yeah, and of course people point out he's like sitting in coach, which is actually really funny. I mean, if you're gonna brag about money, buddy, at least be in like the first class. And some other people were joking. I don't know how you would possibly tell what airline he's on, but they were saying he was on Frontier. And I just realized what these two things are. Those are lights from people's phones recording him. Here's another phone recording. Here's a phone. So, basically, if you're being recorded by three people, just three, or even just two, if two people are recording you with their phones, you should probably stop whatever you're doing. Let this be a lesson. Come on, guys. Come on. Please, my European descendants. Come on. Come on, guys. This isn't acceptable.